Video games have been on the rise for over the past decades. Both casual gaming and competitive gaming have seen a massive surge in the number of users, with millions joining as the years pass. In today's list, we break down 10 games that sold over 50 million copies. Oh my gosh! Some even raking in billions over their lifespan. We're going to be focusing on individual titles rather than the combined stats of a franchise series. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Number 10, Overwatch. We're gonna start this list with the competitive shooter title Overwatch. Unlike Overwatch 2, which is free to play, the first edition of Overwatch was a paid game, and the developers managed to sell just over 50 million copies during the lifetime of the game. Overwatch had exclusive leagues that hosted the best teams from all over the globe, fighting for cash prizes. This team-based shooter game dominated the multiplayer segment before the rise of the whole battle royale genre. Overwatch even hosted World Cups, inviting countries to send their best teams to compete, instead of a continent or region-based competition. Every tournament drew massive viewership across all streaming platforms, and the arena tickets were constantly sold out. Overwatch 2, despite being free to play, never managed to reach the success of the original game. Developers were bombarded with massive negative reviews in the Steam store, with most players complaining of the new microtransaction model, and many felt the game was so close to the original it was just basically Overwatch 1 with a new title. Despite the recent struggles, Blizzard Entertainment is still trying its best to keep its fanbase active with new game modes and better in-game rewards in future updates. Moving on to number 9, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Next up on the list, oh I love this one, we have The Witcher 3. At number 9, this iconic title has sold more than 50 million copies as of May 2023. The Witcher series in total managed to sell 75 million copies. The developers have now confirmed Witcher 4, along with a remake of Witcher 1, set to release in the coming year. Witcher 3 features a monster slayer named Geralt on a mission to find his adopted daughter Ciri, who's being hunted down by a group of deadly riders named the Wild Hunt. This action RPG game features numerous quests and multiplayer choices throughout the game. Every player creates their own unique path, which later carves a storyline unique to the choices they made within the storyline. The Witcher 3 is still considered one of the best video games during the PlayStation 4 era. The game gave rise to a highly active community that constantly shares and discusses important updates regarding The Witcher. The developers launched 2 expansion packs after the release of the main title. Hearts of Stone was the first, along with Blood and Wine, which was later added to the game. Both expansions added a new area to explore, along with quests, new characters, and new features. But do you think Witcher 4 can hold up to the extremely high expectations set by the Wild Hunt? Let us know down in the comments below. Number 8, Red Redemption 2. Next on the list, we have a title that is still being sold like hotcakes to this day. Red Dead Redemption 2 managed to sell over 55 million copies, and from one of their latest financial reports released in August 2023, this Western-themed open-world game by Rockstar features Arthur Morgan, the main character in the game who explores the Wild West using wild horses, jumping on trains and stealing stagecoaches. Launched in 2018, the game managed to reach insane sales numbers in just a matter of a few years. Rockstar has done an amazing job in recreating the struggles and untamed nature of the Wild West. Red Dead Redemption 2 now has an online mode in which players can team up to complete quests, or they can play against each other in a competitive environment. If you're relatively new to the gaming space, this is one title you should not miss out on. The gameplay starts slow, but as the story begins to unfold, you'll find yourself wondering what day it is as you start to binge a few 20-hour sessions. I wouldn't know anything from experience or anything. Number 7, Elder Scrolls Skyrim. At number 7, we have Bethesda's Elder Scrolls Skyrim. After its release in 2011, the game has managed to sell over 60 million copies, with millions of active users even after 13 years of launch. In this game, players take control of a dragonborn who mimics the powers of a dragon. The game starts with the main character facing execution after being captured by the Empire. After managing to escape due to the help of a dragon, Dragonborn slowly starts to realize who he is and begins collecting the souls of dragons, giving him unique powers depending on the soul he's consumed. Later in the game, monks are introduced, who end up teaching Dragonborn more about his powers and what the prophecy of a Dragonborn is all about. This huge open world map features multiple quests, missions, fighting, hunting, and much more. As more of the game is played, unique skills are unlocked, allowing players to customize their character and make them unique in multiple ways. Players get to use magic, along with leveling up weapons and armor to face bigger and fiercer dragons. For a game that's over a decade old, Elder Scrolls Skyrim is still one of the top games being played today. At number 6, we have Nintendo family finally making its way into the list with Mario Kart 8 Plus. With over 64 million copies of the game sold as of June 2023, this 8th edition of the iconic Mario Kart series is considered one of the most successful racing games in video game history. This game has 42 characters brought in from multiple Nintendo titles and has something in it for almost everyone. Nintendo lovers have the option of playing with their favorite Nintendo characters, which include Zelda and many characters from Animal Crossing, and they get to race on a generous pick of 48 racetracks with venues from various Nintendo games. The anti-gravity features in various maps and allow for dynamic gameplay where racers can drive on walls and ceilings and make the race even more exciting and wild. Mario Kart really did push the Nintendo Switch sales to insane numbers when it was launched. It wouldn't be surprising if at some point Nintendo declares this as one of the most successful racing titles to set foot on its platform. The game can be played by everyone from all ages and was even awarded the best family game in the year of its release. Making its way into the number 5 on this list, we have what is probably the biggest paid battle royale game ever, PUBG. Though the mobile edition of this game has over 1 billion downloads, oh my gosh, it is free to play and hence doesn't count towards the overall sales of revenue. Haha, too bad. PUBG PC was a paid game up until 2022, after which it went completely free. During its paid era, the game managed to sell over 70 million copies by December 2021. Krafton was the developer for PUBG, and now they focus primarily on the mobile market, as it is still considered one of the most played esports battle royale games. PUBG has hosted tournaments with millions in the prize pool every year. This title is now available across all major platforms, with mobile being the most played on. Dive into multiple battle royale maps and become the last man standing to be crowned the champion. Like every battle royale game, the overall pace of the match starts slow, with the map shrinking every 2 to 3 minutes and the action gets intense, leading to a final one-on-one battle. Apart from the traditional solo matches, you could also squad up with up to 4 players and compete for the ultimate winner-winner chicken dinner. Number 4, Wii Sports. At number 4, Nintendo makes a return in this list with Wii Sports. In an era where gamers were labeled couch potatoes, Nintendo brought in the whole concept of virtual sports by introducing Wii Sports. And after its release in 2006, this title managed to sell over 83 million copies and is still one of the best motion control titles to ever exist. From basketball, baseball to general fitness games, Nintendo managed to find a way to get gamers physically active and even added the element of competitiveness to make sure players push for their best while doing so. And we are now in an era where VR gaming is still trying to take off, but none of the present titles seem to even remotely come close to what Nintendo Wii introduced way back in 2006. Gaming using motion controls was something to the whole community was skeptical of, but looking at it today, Nintendo lived up to the challenge of recreating sports in a fun way from your very own bedroom. Number 3, Grand Theft Auto. Now we enter the big boy territory of the top 3 titles with sale numbers that are truly phenomenal! At number 3, we welcome the return of Rockstar into the list again with Grand Theft Auto 5. With over 185 million copies sold to date, Grand Theft Auto 5 is the biggest third-person shooter game to ever set foot in the PC world. To put it in perspective, Grand Theft Auto has sold over 100 million more copies than the rest of the games mentioned so far. The impact Grand Theft Auto had on the community was enormous, introducing a new genre of role-playing service that brought in a ton of new ways to keep playing the game even after finishing the multiplayer campaign. Grand Theft Auto 5 has been on the list of the most streamed games over the past decade and still continues to dominate the charts to this day. The success of Grand Theft Auto 5 has also managed to hype up the launch of Grand Theft Auto 6, which is expected to arrive in 2025. The trailer of Grand Theft Auto 6 managed to accumulate 100 million views within the first 48 hours of its reveal. Not all of the reactions were positive though. Some claimed the trailer was underwhelming, and there was even a fear that the title may have gone a bit too woke with the new main character being female. Personally, I find it hard to believe that a game where you spend the majority of your time stealing cars, robbing banks, and beating up hookers could possibly go woke. Just saying. At number 2, we have Minecraft as the second most selling title of all time. Minecraft was created by Marcus Persson and later sold to Microsoft for $2.5 billion a decade back in 2014, with over 300 million copies sold in its lifetime. Minecraft has become the go-to sandbox platform to build and create 3D environments using blocks and other 3D elements. In 2021 alone, Minecraft brought in 300 million and is still one of the most revenue-generating titles to ever exist. Minecraft is often referred to as a sandbox game where people can build and create worlds with their own set of rules, making it a completely open-ended game. The survival mode gameplay allows allows players to team up and explore never-ending open-world maps, searching for resources and fight final bosses in different shapes and sizes. What started as a game for kids is now a major attraction for players of all ages. Content creators related to Minecraft have amassed billions of views on YouTube and other streaming platforms, making this one of the most searched games on the internet. The options of what to do within the game is endless, making Minecraft a truly unique yet simple game to play with friends on a daily basis. And number 1, Tetris. To top off the list at number 1, we have the godfather of all video games, Tetris. Created in 1985, it is unlikely that you haven't played Tetris, aka the brick game. With over 500 million copies sold in its lifetime, Tetris is clearly the king of video games and is probably still a classic everyone wants to play. By December 2011, the game had sold over 200 million copies, and in the 13 years after 2011, the developers managed to increase that number to 500 million copies overall. Clearly, the love for Tetris is still at an all-time high. I mean, what's not to like about it? The game comes with the simplest of rules and gets super addictive after playing it for just an hour. Among the 200 million copies sold by the end of 2011, Tetris managed to sell 35 million copies of its physical Game Boy Edition, which in itself is remarkable. Competitive Tetris grew along with the game over the years. You can see kids playing against experienced adults in pro play, and often the results are quite surprising. Apart from these insane numbers, Tetris holds the Guinness Book of World Records for the game to be ported to the most number of platforms. The developers managed to port Tetris into 65 different platforms over close to 4 decades, making it the OG and most dominant video game of all time. Despite the evolution of video games over the years, Tetris managed to stay on top of the list by keeping it simple and straightforward. And with Tetris, we have come to the end of the top 10 best-selling video games of all time. Oh, I'm so sad. Which games have you played on this list? Which were your personal favorite? And let us know down in the comment section below. And while you're at it, make sure to subscribe with the notifications turned on to make sure you never miss out on our uploads. Thanks for watching till the end, and until next time, peace.